This piece is called Anguish by August Friedrich Schenck. Our eyes are immediately drawn to a female sheep in the center of the painting. Her head tilts up to the sky and we can see her breath, reminding us of the cold winter air. It's almost like we can hear her cry. If we scan down, we see the lifeless body of a lamb lying beneath her, blood trickling from its mouth onto the white snow that blankets the ground. We can see the raking of the lamb's leg imprinted in the snow, providing us with a clue that if the lamb is indeed dead, it hasn't been for very long. Encircling them is a group of crows, which I just learned is actually called a murder if you ever need to know that for trivia or something. There are footprints that surround the sheep, leaving us to wonder whether they're from the mother sheep encircling her lamb or the crows. There's almost no color in this world, which makes it feel more like Mars or hell. The sheep is almost the same muddy brownish-grey color as the sky. The black forms of the crows stand out against the white snow on the ground. These little details are so powerful, but you only need to take a quick glance at this painting to know immediately what's going on. A mother sheep cries out in despair over the death of her lamb as a group of crows wait patiently to feast on it. This painting is gut-wrenching, but I think the most interesting and potentially disturbing part about it is the crows. They could pester and peck, but they don't. They simply wait because when you think about it, that's all they really need to do. Worst case scenario for them, the mother sheep eventually moves on. Best case scenario, she becomes weak and falls from exhaustion, and the birds get to feast on both of them. Looking at it this way, the crows seem to embody the cruelty and selfishness that exists in our world. I think we should pause for a second. This is all very harsh. Let's dim the lights and I invite you to envision something with me now. Someone has died. Okay, that was still pretty harsh, but follow me here. An attentive group gathers around them, all dressed in black. What does this sound like to you? Like a funeral, right? Does this painting look any different to you now? What if instead of representing brutality, the crows are supposed to be mourning alongside the mother sheep? In fact, in the wild, crows are known to hold funerals for their fellow crows who have died. Maybe Schenck depicts them doing the same here. Not much is known about August Friedrich Schenck. Let's just say he's no Jan van Eyck or Leonardo da Vinci in terms of his acclaim. We know he was a Danish artist born in 1828. We know he later moved to France to study art. When Anguish was first exhibited in the Paris Salon of 1878, it really resonated with people. There are a couple of reasons for this. First of all, in the 19th century, death was at the forefront of everyone's minds. Diseases like tuberculosis were rampant and took many people when they were young. And also because Queen Victoria was mourning her late husband, Prince Albert, at the time, which made death weirdly fashionable, I guess. But also because a few years before this painting was created, Charles Darwin released his book, The Expression of the Emotions in Man and Animals. This book introduced the idea that animals share some of the same emotions, like joy, sadness, and pain that humans do. These were groundbreaking ideas and shifted people's mindsets from thinking about animals as purely existing for our consumption and pleasure to thinking of them as more like us. Dr. Ted Gott, the National Gallery of Victoria's senior curator in international art, suggested that this painting may have been inspired by Darwin's groundbreaking ideas. A critic described the artist in 1878 as one of our finest animal painters. He is one of those originals of the species not yet extinct who prefer dogs to men and find more sweetness in sheep than women. This was meant to be a compliment, I think. Indeed, Schenck clearly admired animals and had a gift for portraying them in a way that touches our hearts better than many paintings of actual people. And this piece was so popular that the artist decided to make another similar painting titled Orphan, where the roles of the lamb and sheep are reversed. Schenck was a very successful artist in his life, so much so that he was made a Chevalier of the Legion of Honor. But times and tastes changed, and by the mid-1900s, people thought his art was cheesy, corny, and over-the-top emotional. Needless to say, Schenck became somewhat of a forgotten artist. Although this piece sits among paintings from much more popular artists, such as Rembrandt and Monet, It's consistently ranked as a crowd favourite. This piece is currently hanging in the National Gallery of Victoria in Melbourne. The gallery has around 75,000 works in its permanent collection, but Anguish has been voted twice as one of the museum's most popular works, once in 1906 and once in 2011. I think the success of this painting speaks to the fact that whether it's 1878 or 2023, the feeling of pain and loss resonates with almost everyone because we're all human. Unless you're a sheep, then you're a sheep. But let's go back to the first interpretation of this painting, the one where the crows are cruel and selfish and patiently waiting for their next meal. When we look at the crows like this, they can almost look like pure evil to us. But let's think about this a little deeper. Let's drink in the scene for a sec. It's the dead of winter. These crows are probably starving, huddled together, waiting for the only sustenance they can find. And I think if we were in their shoes, or talons, I should say, how would we feel? Probably cold, hungry, maybe anxious about the future. Would we be mourning the little lamb, or would we be waiting for our next meal? I wonder if Schenck is encouraging us to ask the tough question of what we would do in this situation, because maybe the only cruel thing in this painting is the winter. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Schenck's work, please like, comment and subscribe to Canvas Tales for more art ideas and stories. Stay inspired and see you in the next video.